So here we are, this very special week of activity. We think deeply upon the ransom sacrifice. We think deeply about how Jesus used his life. And we have opportunity to do that. For example, some ask, why do we pass the emblems on Memorial Night? They say if in a large congregation, there are so many there, wouldn't it be more practical if the service just stood at the end of the aisle, and if someone wanted to partake of the emblems, they would just nod or give a sign to the server, and he would give them to that person. Look at the time we would save. But that's not the pattern in the scriptures. That's not what Jesus did. That's not the procedure that was instituted. We're following the biblical pattern. But in addition to that, in the actual passing of the emblems, what does that do? That deepens our appreciation as we see the bread pass, as we see the wine pass. We are able to understand the sacred things that are discussed even more so that evening. And we're able to get involved. Our feelings are get involved. That event burns into our memory. So this Friday, as those emblems are being passed, as the bread is being passed. Now you might say, but I've been to so many memorials, and some in our family have been to decades worth of memorials. But how about this Friday, we do something different?
The word on everybody's lips was shades of Auschwitz. These are the first pictures out of Guyana on the incredible orgy of death that took place in the People's Temple Agricultural Mission at Jonestown. This is picture number 1. This picture was taken from up high. It shows what the mass suicide looks like when over 400 cultists who believed in everything that Jim Jones said took their own lives. Now, this picture was taken by an Associated Press photographer who was the first one back in there after the mass suicide murders. As you can see, bodies are strewn all over the place. This is inside one of the mission buildings. The bodies are laid out almost like everybody took the poison and then picked a place to be still somewhere until the poison took effect. They are in rows, as you can see, and very quiet, of course.
Kingdom Hall.
Yes. Is this where Jehovah's Witnesses meet?
It is. We meet at the Kingdom Hall.
Okay, well, I had met some sisters in a cart the other day, and they had given me a watchtower, your website, jw.org.
Uh-huh.
And I was looking on there, and I saw some interesting thing. They got something called Questions from Readers. And I saw a question. I just wanted to see if you could help clarify it for me a little bit. It's about y'all's Lord's evening meal. Like, I guess that would be like Passover. If I read this question to you and the part of this answer, can you kind of explain to me what this means? To like, I'm a lay person on this. Maybe you can help me understand. It says each year the society receives a number of inquiries regarding the various aspects of the Lord's evening meal. In reply to these, the following is given. And it says the emblems should be on hand and passed to each person present. What does that mean?
The emblems? That would be the bread and the wine.
So it should be presented to each one present, even though it may seem certain ones don't profess to be of the remnant. What is the remnant?
Those that are Jesus' brothers, those that are going on to heavenly life.
I see. And each one should go on the record as to his firm conviction of what his hopes are, heavenly or earthly, based on his dealings with God. So, what does that exactly mean?
As far as the heavenly hope or the earthly hope?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we believe study of the scriptures that there are those that are of the anointed or Christ Jesus brothers, and they go on to heavenly life, and there are those that have the earthly hope, those that will remain on earth.
So basically, there's a difference between these two people, these two type of people.
Yeah, Jesus spoke of having one flock. He spoke of the little flock, and then he spoke of the other sheep. And we all have the same things and everything else as far as serving our God, but There are those that will serve with Jesus in heaven, and there are those that will live forever on earth. And that is our understanding of what the scriptures teach.
Seems like the people who don't go to heaven don't get to partake of the emblems, like you call them.
I mean, that's the basics of it, yes. Yeah,
Okay.
the anointed or Christ Jesus brothers are the ones that partake.
Okay, but y'all do study the Bible and all that, right?
Oh, yeah, we offer free home Bible studies for anybody who wishes to gain more understanding of the scriptures.
Well, let me ask you a question. Maybe you can help me understand this scripture. Do you by chance have a Bible with you right now?
I do.
Can you explain to me a little bit, because I know there's different Bible translations or whatever, but can you explain to me John chapter 6, 53? Because that was the question I had, because I figured maybe it would be in this article somewhere and I didn't see it. But if you could read that one for me.
So the emblems represent Christ's blood, and as far as the wine is concerned, and
Right. So,
and then the bread represents his flesh. And of course, Jesus would not have said to literally eat his flesh and drink his blood, because that would have been violation of the Mosaic Law covenant.
well, I mean,
yeah.
whether it's literal or spiritual, like you're saying, like, I mean, Jesus says, "Most truly I say to you, unless you do this, be it in a representation or literally, like he says, unless you do this, there is no life in you." So how can there be a difference between who partakes and who doesn't, whether they're going to heaven or stay on earth, whatever?
Yeah.
Like, how do you?
Yeah, we are currently in the middle of a meeting, so best thing to do would be for me to get your information, and we'd be glad to contact you later. And if you want to have a Bible study to be able to learn more, that would be something that could totally be arranged. But we are currently in the middle of a meeting right now.
Well, I mean, I totally understand that you're in the middle of a meeting, and I'll totally pass on the Bible study. I mean, you just got one yourself, and it'll be all right. I hope you have a good day, brother. I hope you enjoy that study.
All right, thank you.